Can you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So, quick show. Today's a quick
We
show.
ready. We ready for y'all. Yes, we're gonna. It's like when we finally get sponsored by a channel, which will come soon. We're gonna have to do a quick 30-minute show. We're gonna have to get used to getting produced. So that's what we got for y'all today. Quick show. We are ready. We are ready for the conference championships. We are ready for the Super Bowl. We weren't ready for what I would argue is one of the greatest football weekends of our lifetimes. We'll get to that shortly. But first things first, Sean Payton, hell of a career. I want to kick off with this right away. Respect where respect's due. Redefine football. Set a whole generation. You can call Spygate. You can call whatever you want. But still, Sean Payton is in the Hall of Fame. For me, how you feeling about Sean Payton, dude? Is he a Hall of Fame coach for you when it's all said and done?
Oh, yeah, without a doubt. I mean, when you think about a guy who cultivated a culture from nothing, he literally did that. Everybody wants to say, like, Drew Brees, this, that, and the third. But if you think about it, Drew Brees wouldn't have done anything, and that Saints offense wouldn't have done anything without Sean Payton's guidance. He's gone down as, I mean, when you list coaches, everybody puts Sean Payton, like, probably the same tier as, like, Jim Harbaugh, Mike Tomlin. Obviously, you have Bill and Andy in their own tier, but he is definitely somebody you would think. And I think him and Brees have the second most wins behind Brady and Belichick, if I'm not mistaken.
We'll fact check you, but I'm pretty sure that's correct.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, Hall of Famer, no doubt.
That is correct.
I don't think, but in all honesty to everybody out there, and if you keep, I hate this shit. Once this happened, I knew what was going to happen because Bill Parcells did the same thing with the Jets. Everybody thinks he's coming back after this 1-year stint and then go coach the Cowboys. And I'm like, bro, if he goes coach the Cowboys, I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know. I mean, it could be good for the Cowboys. It could be bad, but we'll see.
I don't know if you're trying to give me some shit because it's a quick show today, so you're just getting your gut punches in while you can.
No. Go online. Go look at the rumors. Go look at everybody who took his press conference that way. It is absolutely ridiculous. So
you are an insider on this show. You are on the Twitterverse. I am not. So I did not miss out on that. But that is genuinely sickening. I don't even want to say the kind word I was going to say about him, but I guess I will anyway. Hopefully that is incorrect. That he was one of those rare coaches that could adapt too, to adapt from generation to generation. Not a lot of coaches could do that. A lot of coaches, we know, like Jeff Fisher, for example, got left in the past. I don't know how he got a new job, even if it is in the USFL, or, other coaches that basically didn't adapt and died. And Sean Payton was never that coach. He always figured out how to adapt to his system, adapt to the new football. And, I mean, look what he did this year without Drew Brees. He had nothing. He had Alvin Kamara, and that was it. And Marcus Lattimore on the defensive side, and that was it. And said, Cameron Jordan where he's due. I can't disrespect him, but I mean,
of course.
That's you had three players that legitimately should still be in the league playing football. And no disrespect to anybody else on the Saints, but he put together scrap heaps and showed that he can still be a coach of any generation. I pray to God it's not for that shit football team that wears a star on the side of their helmet.
There you go. But good for him. I think that is just one thing that we're going to see now because the NFC South went from this crazy division to now like probably the worst division in football. You have the Atlanta Falcons. Who knows what they're going to be? You have Tampa Bay probably losing Tom Brady. We'll get into that. You have the Saints now. Yeah, and Gronk. And probably a lot. I mean, they ran it back with 22 starters. I don't think a lot of those 22 starters are not going to be back. So
our team is definitely going to be breaking up. But yeah, you have the Bucs, Saints, Falcons, Panthers, all teams that look like they're resetting and rebuilding. So we'll see. It can finally become. Hopefully, it relieves the NFC East of being the NFC East finally, and we definitely at least have a competitor for the worst division in the NFC. Let's talk about an NFC head coach that got his comeuppance, got his job for the first time. I'm going to start with Chicago Bears head coach. I like this guy a lot because he ran basically a very slept-on Colts defense that was a huge part of that Colts run that eventually got ruined by Carson Wentz. Matt Eberflus, I believe I'm saying that correctly. Eberflus, not Eberflus, much better. Jacksonville Jaguars were also considering this guy. This is a guy that I think was underrated as a potential head coach, but clearly sought out. I'm excited to kind of see what he does with the Bears. I think he's obviously going to make that Bears defense even stronger, continue the tradition of what the Bears defense has always been, especially shout out those 85 Bears. Will he be able to finally make this offense somewhat productive? I don't know, dude.
It's a defensive
head coach. It's a defensive head coach that you hire. So what are you worried about developing Justin Fields right now? Are you worried like building an offense that's been struggling for years? It just doesn't seem so.
I mean, it just seems like the Bears are doing the same old shit left and right? They got a new GM. Apparently he used to play for the Bears, an undrafted lineman. So we'll see how that goes. And then plus you have this guy who is a defensive-minded head coach. So, I mean, I guess they're playing into their strengths a little bit. I mean, the Bears are known for their defense. You have Khalil Mack, Eddie Jackson, Hakeem Nicks, all these guys. But you're right. I mean, like, now it's time to find an offensive coordinator who is like a Kellen Moore, who is like a Dayball, somebody who is with a defensive-minded guy and made their defense their offense a lot better than what they should. And it's going to be tough. I think I don't want to say they went backwards, but I mean, they didn't really go forwards in my opinion. So I guess I have to see what they do in free agency because their offense is going to lose Allen Robinson.
Yep.
We don't know what they're going to do with Jimmy Graham is probably out the door, but you have to fix that offensive line.
He should have been 5 years ago.
Yeah. So, I mean, at this point, you have Cole Kmet, you have Mooney, you have Montgomery, you have Fields. It's the new regime in their offense. So
let's not forget that's a bottom 15 offensive line. I mean, they're not the worst, but they're certainly not the best.
If you get a guy like, okay, let's say they get a guy like Lindsey who went to the Chargers, the center, and you draft somebody like Slater who became a really good rookie tackle for the Chargers. That's something you could build on like they did with Justin Herbert. I'm not here saying Fields is going to be Justin Herbert, but you give him a chance to become what he needs to become because you don't want to waste those years with Montgomery, Cole Kmet, and Mooney, who have all shown they have promise. So you got to get a quarterback that you need in there. So
it is that offense. I think you said it better. It is that offense that literally is a player away or a right system away from making it an elite offense. It really is because you got a bunch of these young guys that are ready to develop, ready to seep out talent and see where they rise, especially I'm a big Mooney guy, as you know, and a big Justin Fields guy. So the sky is limitless unless you put a defensive head coach at the front, and then you can be a little bit limited. We'll see where it goes. But I think my favorite hire, and it's not official news, but terms have been agreed to as of last night. I don't think a contract has officially been signed, but Nathaniel Hackett does look like he's going to be the next head coach for the Denver Broncos, offensive coordinator for the Packers, and this is where we'll go ahead and get into the Rodgers of it all as well, because I think that Rodgers grew to like this guy a lot. I think this is a guy that Rodgers trusts a whole lot. Rodgers has already gone on the record and says, wherever I go, I want to make sure Adams is with me. Is Aaron Rodgers, first of all, how do you like the Nathaniel Hackett hire? Second of all, is Aaron Rodgers returning next year, and is he going to be a Denver Bronco?
Well, okay, so to
currently fit with his vibe in the last 5 years.
Fits in his vibe. So Nathaniel Hackett, I've always said, has been a good coach. I mean, I know his offensive play calling isn't really offensive play calling. When you have a guy like Aaron Rodgers, I'm pretty sure the guy just does his own thing. But
credits where credit's due with what he did with both Aaron Jones and our boy with the thickest thighs in the whole entire world, my boy A.J. Dillon. So what he did with those two running backs, both tremendous talents, kept the balance there. I think credit's where credit's due with him with that. I mean, he did a fabulous job.
I guess. But you're going to now potential landing spot for Aaron Rodgers. So that could have, like you said, that could be the place because it has been flirted around with that says it's basically three places. And I hate to say it like that with Aaron Rodgers. It's basically three places. And I mean, yes, I'm going to say one is Pittsburgh because the odds maker put Pittsburgh as the second place he's going to land. I'm just saying.
It's a short show, so I won't go too much into that.
I'm just saying. No. I'm not here saying, personally think we're gonna get like Mitch Trubisky or like Marcus Mariota. Like that's really my
Marcus
realistic
Mariota making a comeback finally.
my realistic take, but like
With Blake
in my
Bortles as your back,
wildest
great
dreams,
God.
yeah, my wildest dreams is definitely Aaron Rodgers, but with Nathaniel Hackett going to the Broncos, I definitely see that happening. And he's taking Devontae with him, and then we'll see like somebody like them
The
trading like
Washington
Jared
football team name to be
Judy.
determined in 5 days.
Yeah, and then he's gonna definitely, and that team is probably gonna get Russell Wilson. So we'll see what happens.
I think we both would be just not true fans. I think it's just complete obvious and oblivious as it could be that, yeah, obviously we would love Aaron or Russell to be wearing the burgundy and gold or wearing a black and yellow, but we'll see. But I gotta say, Nude, and we'll get to the black and yellow and the retirement of your quarterback next week. Again, short show. So let's just get right into this past weekend, because exact opposite of wild card weekend. I mean, this was football. This is why you watch football. This is why we do this podcast. This is why we sleep, eat, breathe it, shit it out, then ingest it back again through our own shit if we have to, just to watch a little bit of football. Would you say this is the best weekend of football you ever had? I mean, besides the fact that both our teams were in this mix.
Oh, I mean, here's my perspective on everything. I think it is. I think 2 games were the best. I think 2 other games, we're thinking it's the best, but it's not really. Like if it was any
I
other
know where you're going. Go ahead.
Yeah. So I mean, Buccaneers, Rams, absolute shootout, absolute craziness. I mean, we almost saw another comeback by Tom Brady. Again,
Yep.
we could just go right into it. Tom Brady announced after that game, after trying to get it back, defense got him the ball, everything. By the way, what a choke job still by the Rams. Even though the Rams won, it's still a choke job, even though they won, because they should have annihilated them. They should have. Now, there's some doubt going into this next weekend, going against the 49ers, who we'll get to as well. But this now it's just like, do you trust Cam Akers? Do you trust your defense to make a pivotal stop? Because clearly your best corner, your best player, or your second best player on your team, I would say, Jalen Ramsey, couldn't cover Mike Evans one-on-one, and he got burned. And it's just like, dude, I mean, like after all that, I do not blame Tom Brady saying what he said. It is a tough way to lose. It is a tough way to go out. Um, I mean, he's done everything from A to Z. He won the title without Bill Belichick, which ultimately I think that's what he wanted to do, to prove to everyone. So,
Right. I mean, in one of the best
we'll see what
professional athletes,
happens.
it will go down as, if not the best, one of the best professional athletic careers of all time.
Right, and that's the thing. Like we always talk about Jordan, we always talked about LeBron James, we always talked about. I mean, in retrospect, like it's tough to not put Tom Brady into a category all in his own. He's going to get his own. I mean, in the Pro Football Hall of Fame, he's going to have his own wing. A guy who is a 6th-round pick, winning all these Super Bowls, changing 2 franchises in a blink of an eye. Like it's crazy to not think he's not going to get his own thing. But I mean, credit to the Rams, they won.
I think,
They
quick
stuck it
side note
out,
too, just
but
because it's such a big topic, I think the only people that are actually close to him, or maybe on that same level, would have to be athletes like a Muhammad Ali. I would argue maybe
Michael
the Williams
Phelps.
sisters and people such as that. But I mean, outside maybe Kobe, but outside of that, it's pretty hard to find that mark.
I don't think we can compare football players to him anymore. I think we compare him to athletes, like in general, like you're saying, because like at this point, like what does he have to prove? He has nothing to prove. He has owned every record. I'm pretty sure he's owned a lot of different things into. He has put a lot into perspective in the sense of like whether the game has changed. The game around him has changed, and he still has won. Like everybody wants a Patrick Mahomes, wants a Allen, wants a Fields, a Kyler, everything. Dude still won the Super Bowl last year. Dude almost beat this team again. Like beat the
Everybody
almost had
last year
another
was doing the
wild comeback.
stupid perennial passing the torches headlines that everybody was just soaking up with the Chiefs and Brady. And I would argue this weekend was more of the perennial passing of the torches, except for Tom
It's
Brady.
just crazy.
Tom Brady said, I still wasn't ready to give up my torch. He really wasn't.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, again, I think you summed it up perfectly. It was basically the Rams shooting themselves in the foot again, but luckily the ER came before they bled out all the way. And that's really all it was. Tom Brady continued. I mean, he every single year his career goes on. To me, he's played even better. It's exceptional what he's been able to do. It looks like Stafford and the 49ers are going to go do what they always do and lose to the Rams next week. We'll get to picks here in a little bit. But I mean, we'll get to the other two games that you said that I know you're going to say aren't the greatest games of all time. But let's get right into what I have to say is the greatest game of all time.
I mean, okay. I just
Outside of it being like the Steelers and the Washington football team named to be determined February 2nd, personally for both of us, objectively, without our attachments, best football game in my opinion of all time.
Oh yeah, I mean, dude, like what I just witnessed was probably like if Tom Brady does retire, right, and let's say Aaron Rodgers moves on to wherever he moves on to, everybody keeps saying that the the league is in good hands. I have never ever felt that way until what I saw with the Chiefs and the Bills. These dudes fucking went bananas. And let's not forget, the Bills defense was ranked the number one defense in the entire NFL.
Mm-hmm.
And this man, Patrick Mahomes, sliced him and diced him like he was playing Madden on easy mode. Same with Josh Allen. We'll get to Josh Allen too. But Patrick Mahomes,
Josh Allen was part of maybe my favorite troll in such a positive way of all time too.
Oh yeah. And the fact that Patrick Mahomes, we had such doubt with him at the beginning of the year, is now doing all this different fucking things that he does. Like that's just I just don't understand it. Like I have no idea how he does it. Like he turned it on. He turned it on. And now we look at Josh Allen. Josh Allen took a step that everyone.
I mean, let's say it, dude. What all the experts have been saying all week. I mean, not to sound repetitive, not to say what other shows are saying, but he won that game 3 times. 3 times Josh Allen won that game.
Oh yeah. And if I'm Josh Allen, I'm mad. I am going to. I mean, like, I know it's not. I know, like, she's not mad. Like, I know he's not actually mad, but it's like, bro, come on. Like,
I mean, it's like if Sydney Sweeney, for all the dudes, if Sydney Sweeney, all the straight heterosexual dudes, if Sydney Sweeney was in your bed butt naked, or for all the heterosexual straight females of this show, or whatever you're into, maybe you're into Zac Efron for the heterosexual females, maybe you're whatever you're into. If one of those two good-looking people were in your bed, Sydney Sweeney or Zac Efron, whatever it may be, and then all of a sudden, you know, it's like your greatest rival goes ahead and sleeps with them. Right when you open up the door, and then your greatest rival just knocks you out of the way. It was that type of blue balls. I've never seen such a incredible effort to end in such heartbreak, and that's just literally what's more Shakespearean than that? You can't write that.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, like, and then everybody and all these people, you could stop right now. The overtime rules are the overtime rules. I get it. I was upset too. I understand. I get it. Squib kick. Should the defense have stopped them? I got it. All right. Stop trying to discredit what we just watched. Yes, it was a walk-off touchdown. I get it. But at the same time, this was great. This was great for the game. I understand. I get it. No, people are going to be like, Michael, you want this? Michael, you want to do that? Yeah, no. I want the game to be the game. And the game was decided by an overtime rule that everybody knew. Everyone knew. Yes, 10 out of 11, whatever, has won the coin toss, has won the game. Get the fuck out of here. That's all I'm going to say. It's done. It happened.
I have nothing to add to that. Just everyone shut your goddamn mouth and move on. Speaking of that, shutting your goddamn mouth and moving on is something that Aaron Rodgers is definitely going to have to do going forward here in the offseason. I want to get your perspective, though. So you felt both these games, the 49ers Packers game and the Bengals Titans games, weren't good games?
So, okay. No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying... Okay.
I'm looking for some clarification, my dear friend.
After watching what I watched, I guess because I watched those 2 games first, and I watched those 2 games on Sunday. You know, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So it is.
Were you just blacked out all day Saturday and you missed these
I
games, or
just
what?
no. It's just yeah. Well, I was on a party bus, but I guess that was more of a. How can I say it? That was more of a defensive battle. There were some plays that we just made. I mean, like Burrow got sacked 9 times. Tannehill didn't really do anything with the ball. Like it just seemed like everything was stagnant for at least that game. And then there was that controversial interception that touched the ground. Like it was a good game. 13-10, whatever. Game-winning field goal, great. And overall, the game was very stagnant. It was a very defensive battle. And to the
I mean, that's what
comment
both
to
these games were, right? I
it,
mean,
it
it's
was
kind of two opposite functions of games of the weekend.
it
If you
really
love
was
defense, you love
Saturday.
Saturday,
Saturday was the different, yeah,
and
yep.
if
And
you
Sunday you
love
offense.
offense, you love Sunday.
But it wasn't like, but it was mental mistakes too. You know what I mean? Like it was very
Yeah.
sloppy, and it was like 9 sacks, interceptions. Like yes, Derrick Henry only got like what 30, 40 yards. Like nothing great. Touchdown. I mean, AFC North now has three of the best kickers in the NFL. No question about it. Tucker, Boswell, and McPherson or whatever McParson. He is great, but it just didn't. I mean, like I'm just saying, like it didn't give me an oomph. You know what I mean? It didn't give me a push. If that makes sense.
I mean, there's some credit to that 49ers defense. I mean, looked fucking incredible. I mean, you got to give a shout out to those. They're absolute dogs and game planned perfection to beat if not the best, one of the best offenses in the league. I loved every moment of it. Yes, there's some sloppiness, I would argue, in both games, especially that touch the ground touchdown. But the defensive game plans for both, especially in the 49ers, I love football, and I think that's why you appreciate some of this game somewhat as well. You love pure football. You love some good defenses
Oh,
too.
I love. No. Let me rephrase that. Like
Please.
when we say, you're asking me overall. Like I'm being
Yeah,
unbiased.
yeah, yeah,
Unbiased. Overall,
yeah.
is this the best weekend of football? To me, absolutely. If I was just looking at this through a glass lens, no, it was not. Like
You're a
I could,
casual football fan, and you just watch the playoffs or
if
whatever.
I'm like, hey, watch this. If somebody was like, pick one of the 4 games to show somebody why you love football, Bills Chiefs would be the number one pick, of course. But like, would I pick and then Rams Bucks, and then it'd probably be.
What if you had to pick an offense and a defense? That would be different, right? Then you would pick.
Well,
You'd have to go 49ers
pick
defense.
only no, not Niners defense, Niners special teams. Yes.
Yeah, fair.
I guess we could get into that right now too. Niners special teams won them that game. Whether you
I
want to
mean, I
say
would
that.
also argue that Arik Armstead and Fred Warner played the
Oh
game
no,
of
they
their
played
lives
great.
as
They
well.
played great. I mean, honestly, they saved Jimmy G's ass. Jimmy G was trying to lose that game left, right, and center.
I mean,
Even though, I mean,
their
Aaron.
quarterback is who their quarterback
Oh
is.
my gosh. I mean, shout out Mina Kimes for calling him out and whatever this Jeff Garcia bull
You're a
crap
Mia
is.
Kimes guy.
No.
Not as loyal of a stoolie as I thought, dude.
No. Listen. She said something about. I know
that
you
is
don't.
that
You're
is a
not on the
deeply
internet.
personal
You're
thing that
not.
maybe me, you, and 3 other people will get that listen to
Yeah,
this.
interwebs time. Jeff Garcia went after Mina Kimes after Mina Kimes basically said Jimmy G almost lost them both games, which is true. If it wasn't for Debo Samuel's defense and the special teams and Kyle Shanahan,
Yep.
we wouldn't be
Yeah.
talking about them. But also, this goes on Aaron Rodgers' legacy too. Aaron Rodgers, man, you have people wide open, yet you continue to try to force feed Adams and Jones. A part of me is like, he did it on purpose. A part of me is like, this guy really doesn't care. A part of me is like, he wants to prove everything is on Matt LaFleur and the defense and everything. I mean, it's just, I don't know what to do. Like, that's why I didn't think this weekend was the best or this Saturday games were the best, because you have the awful offenses in the first game, and then you have this nonsense in the second game. Both game-winning field goals. Robbie Gould basically gave Bear fans their wish that he beat the Packers somehow, and he did it. So it's like, I don't know. I just like I'm really I guess befuddled about all this shit.
Befuddled. Not
Yeah,
befuddled,
that's
but
my word.
befuddled.
That's my word for today.
And just to kind of wrap up this segment, because we're moving on, and right now, if it was a producer and we were on, let's say, NBC or Fox 5 or ESPN, they'd be telling us to go ahead and start to wrap it up, last 5 minutes of the show. So we're going to speed here a little bit, Nude. For the one thing that everybody was saying to wrap up the 49ers-Packers game was, if you can't beat him, join him. Is he pulling a Kevin Durant of 2015? Or is that what we're going to be seeing here? Is 49er a potential landing spot, or are you cutting that off right at the knees like most people do?
What are you talking about, Aaron Rodgers?
You can't beat him, join him, yeah. Pulling the KD of 2015.
No, I think Jimmy G is their guy, unless it's. I mean, they really put that. I mean, a lot of people said that. I think more people think Tom Brady is going there, and I can see that. But Aaron Rodgers, I think they basically said no to Aaron Rodgers when they traded for Trey Lance. The reason why I say Brady over Rodgers is because Brady right now just said, I want to retire. So he has 1 year.
Pretty much.
So, but Rodgers probably has 5 or 6 years left. And
he gave that classic speech of when you're about to retire of, I got to spend more time with my wife and be a good father.
Yes.
And
it's just
speech
nonsense.
of all time when you're going to retire.
So you go with that and you think, okay, this is what's going to happen. So, I mean, at the same time, it's like, bro, Aaron Rodgers is going to the Broncos, going to the Steelers, or staying there. That's all I can see. After that, don't say anything else. And I honestly think it's going to be the Packers. Like, yeah, the Steelers are like a far chance, but it's like the closest third chance you could have. Broncos probably in there in the mix.
Really hold on to that string there, buddy.
I mean, it's a string that you pull because, like, I mean, odds makers don't make odds just out of their ass, right? So, like, if you're the second best odds, you can't really do like, oh no, you know what I mean? You got to go with the odds. So,
I mean, a lot of people want to play for Tomlin, but let's get into the next game. My official Super Bowl winner is the Cincinnati Bengals, with the Packers getting eliminated. We'll get to our scores and all that here in a moment. But we'd be remiss if we didn't talk briefly about the Bengals Titans. And my main question for you, and I probably should have just texted the guy, our Titans insider, Face of the Franchise Titans insider. How is he doing? Should I have done a mental checkup like I do on you after some rough Steelers games? How's our boy doing? How is Kareem?
Oh, a little upset. Let's just say that. A little upset.
You watched the game with him, right?
No, he wasn't with me. I think he was he was with his family. And yeah,
Cool.
It is not. He was not happy because you think of like all these players getting healthy again. He thought maybe they could beat the Bengals. I mean, I wanted the Titans to win, obviously, but yikes. I mean, that is a tough way to lose.
Condolences now. I forgot about that. Thank you for the reminder.
You're welcome. I mean, go for
condolences. You can't really make it that far when your quarterback is just an average plug-and-play guy.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, Bengals are now my pick to win it all. But Nude, I think I'm pretty much dead at this competition. And real quick other side note is you do got to give Joe Burrow his flowers. He is, I mean, in that next generation along with Mahomes and Allen. We'll be talking more about him in next week for sure. But and like you already mentioned, it was kind of a sloppy overall game. Didn't really do what Derrick Henry thought he would do. Ryan showed he's an average plug-and-play guy. Joe Burrow, again, showed he's the future. Both defenses played good, but not great. That was maybe probably the weakest game of the season, or of the weekend, excuse me. But our competition heating up. It looks like you almost have me in the same position that I had you in last year, except for your Super Bowl winner was still alive. Mine is now dead. But I'm only 4 points behind, as we both went half and half last weekend on our correct picks. 32 Nude is, 28 Joe is in points for the playoff competition. Who's going to take the gross shots? So, and $100 or something. What was it again? Gross shots and what?
Gross shot and $100.
Gross shot and $100. See, it'll probably likely be me, as it seems to be every year, but we ignore all that. We move forward and we become stronger. Let's become stronger right now with the official odds of Conference Championship Weekend. Nude, it has come down to this, man. This is the time of the year where we get extremely excited, but a little bit saddened as well. We are going to have, once again, that roughly 8-month drought football. Yes, we're going to have our USFLs of the world. I believe Rock's football company is premiering this year, maybe next. I could be incorrect on that. We don't have time to see if I'm correct or not, because first up, dude, Sunday, 3:07 p.m., Bengals versus the Kansas City Chiefs. Kansas City Chiefs are -7.5. I find that line slightly disrespectful, especially in a championship game. Over under 54.5. Nude, who you like, who you love?
So this is definitely not on the same page because I'm picking the Chiefs to cover and over. So
it is not at all the same page. In fact, it is the same page with the total, and that is it. Is I'm going straight up Bengals money line. This is the dog of the week. The dog is still surviving. The dog has been hot all year. Don't forget that. When I pick my dogs, I wish I had a percentage-wise, but I have 2 jobs. Nude's a busy man. We don't have any interns, so I don't have the staff there, but my dogs this year have been incredible. This is going to be the – you know what? Not to do what another show does, not to do what another guy does, but this is not only my game of the year, this is my game of the lifetime. Bengals money line. Guarantee it. Book it. Pay off your home. San Francisco 49ers versus the Los Angeles Rams. Sunday, 6:42 p.m. is kickoff time. In Los Angeles, -3.5. The Rams are. Over-under is 45.5. Nude, you like who you love?
Dude. So under. And because God damn it.
Are they gonna finally figure out the Shanahan curse? Is McVay gonna do it?
Rams. I gotta do it. Rams. I mean, Aaron Donald and Jalen Ramsey are different. They can do it. Rams.
I'm going to throw, you know what, make it a dog of the week parlay, make it a championship conference game of Little Joe's lifetime dogs parlay, throw in that Bengals money line with that 49ers money line, going under. Me and Nude agree on the totals, exact opposites on who's going to win what games, who's going to be in the Super Bowl. Obviously, Nude does what he's done all year, picked easy favorites, classic Nude. I'm just trying to pay off your homes and make your lives more flourished. You're welcome.
There you go. So, boys and girls, sorry this was a quick episode. We just got to go to work. So, go like and subscribe. Go look at Four Corner stuff. Keep doing what you need to do.
Hey, real quick, dude, never apologize for your grind. We had a quick episode today because my boy's on his grind. Period.
Yes, sir. So go to, also, we have big news. Stuck Up Clothing, one of our companies that sponsor us, comes out with their first collection today. Go to their IG. Go to their new website on their IG to look at stuff. Go find everything you need to do. That is finest.
And dude, we were actually fortunate enough to, sorry to interrupt you, but we were fortunate enough to get the pre-orders in, be part of the VIP brand, because here at Face the Franchise, we sponsor Stuck Up Clothing, and I gotta say, this is easily my favorite thing he's line he's put out yet. There's so much variety. It's honestly some of his best, if not his best design, some of his best. It's incredible, dude, what he's put together.
Exactly. Also, look at Seductions by Jax. Book her up today. She is on IG as well. Everything that we have online, we put in our post. So look at that, as well as Eyesight, mobile eyewear company, Eyesight with an I. Keep doing what you need to do. Find their new collection online, as well as this episode is brought to you by Smooth My Balls. Smooth your balls down there. 4CR20 is the code to use at checkout. That's the number 4.
Valentine's Day is coming up, fellas. Be right.
Keep doing what you do. So thank you for rocking with us. Stay breezy, stay easy. One love.
Let's just get these games, baby. I got nothing witty or creative today. Let's get these games. I'm ready.
Ben Roethlisberger.